Munich and a member of the White Rose, a group of young German idealists who had dared to speak out against the Nazis. Their mesmerizing story was like a flicker of light penetrating just slightly the oppressive gloom of the Shoah, and it restored to me a faith in humanity. It has inspired me to this day, and ultimately inspired the writing of this book. The White Rose's founder and driving force was Hans Scholl, another medical student, who was joined in his effort by his younger sister, Sophie. The siblings grew up in Ulm, a city on the Danube outside Munich, where Albert Einstein was also born. Their home was both tolerant and religious. What I want most of all is that you live in uprightness and freedom of spirit, no matter how difficult that proves to be, their father had told them. Like many his age, Hans joined the Hitler Youth, but he had doubts almost immediately. He was horrified by the Nuremberg rallies and recoiled at rules that forbade him from singing certain songs, from flying a special flag designed by his troop, or from reading his favorite author, Stefan Zweig, who was Jewish. For her part, Sophie could not understand why her Jewish best friend could not join the Bund Deutscher Mädel, League of German Girls, despite her blonde Aryan looks, while she, with dark hair, was welcomed. Hans Scholl was a freethinker, dynamic and magnetic. With the outbreak of war, he was drafted and posted as a medic in France. When he returned to Germany, he enrolled in medical school at the University of Munich. He read widely, Plato, Socrates, St. Augustine, and Blaise Pascal, and decorated his dorm room with modernist French art. He soon attracted a circle of like-minded students. Christoph Probst, Willy Graf, and Schmorell, the son of Russian immigrants. They found an intellectual mentor in Kurt Huber, a professor of philosophy and religion, and ardent believer in liberal democracy. In the summer of 1942, Hans was inspired by the sermons of Clemens August Graf von Galen, the anti-Nazi Bishop of Münster. Finally, a man has the courage to speak out, he mused to his siblings. He began to distribute typewritten leaflets denouncing the regime. They were signed by a group whose name he took from a Mexican novel, The White Rose. Their language was incandescent. Every honest German today is ashamed of his government, Hans wrote. It had committed crimes that indefinitely outdistance every human measure. Those who stood by were complicit. Guilty, guilty, guilty. All citizens should resist the Nazi state and its war efforts, including through sabotage, boycotts, and protests. The White Rose also became among the first to publicize the Holocaust. In the group's second leaflet, Schmorell reported the news that 300,000 Jews had been murdered in the most bestial way. Here we see the most frightful crime against human dignity, a crime that is unparalleled in the whole of history. For Jews, too, are human beings. They pulled no punches, even when it came to the Führer. Every word that comes from Hitler's mouth is a lie, they declared. His mouth is the foul-smelling maw of hell, and his might is, at bottom, accursed. Sprinkled with erudite references to Aristotle, Ecclesiastes, Goethe, Lao Tzu, Friedrich Schiller, and others, the leaflets concluded with a plea to circulate them. "We will not be silent," concluded the fourth. "We are your bad conscience. The White Rose will not leave you in peace." The leaflets appeared in mailboxes and phone booths throughout Munich between late June and mid-July 1942, and spread to sympathetic students in Frankfurt, Hamburg, Berlin, and Vienna. Then Hans, Schmorell, and Graf were suddenly, on a day's notice, shipped east to the Russian front. On the way, Hans saw a young Jewish girl in a labor brigade by the side of the road. Running from his train, he handed her a chocolate.